Welcome to the 99 Percenters, where everybody has a story. Part of Pull Tab Sports Family. I'm Danny Irmen, here with Nate Dogg. How's it going, Nate Dogg?
It's good. Glad to be here.
We got a special guest today. We'll get to him in a little bit, but before that, we kind of want to talk a little bit about what is a 99 Percenter. Have you ever told a story about how you almost made it to the big leagues, but you got screwed? Or have you ever watched a college hockey game and told the guy next to you you were better than number 7 on the ice? You're a 99 Percenter. Have you ever almost won something, but somehow got screwed? The rules, the guy you're playing against, somebody screwed you? You're a 99 Percenter. I know Nate Dogg's got a bunch of stories about that.
Yeah, that's why I love everything we're talking about here. We're talking about the 99% of people that have a story about, something that might have happened 20, 30 years ago, and they have it in the back of their head. They can replay it in the next 5 minutes and have all the emotions and everything like that. And I don't want to hear the story about the guy that made it. I want to hear there's guys that made it, but they might have a single story of how they got screwed, or they could have a lifetime event that happened where something happened, maybe in squirts or bantams, or you're a dance mom and your daughter didn't get a certain spot. We want to hear those stories, and then we're going to kind of decide, do we really think you're a 99%er, or do we think it's bullshit?
Are you a 1%er?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's funny you said that, some guys might have made it, because our guest today, when they hear who it is and what he's done, they're going to think that he made it. But boy, does he have a story at the end that I think he might be a 99 Percenter.
Yeah.
So we'll get right into it. Today we got our first episode 1, St. Paul native, Jack Hannahan. How's it going, Jack?
Great. Thanks for having me, boys.
Yeah, you excited? Nervous? How's it feeling?
It feels like I just made 3 errors and struck out 3 times, and there's microphones in front of me again, and now I got to explain what happened. The guy hit a ball about 150 at me at third. I just know it wasn't going in the glove, so I knocked her down with the chest and threw her in the third row of the stands, and lost the game for the team. But
it kind of feels like that cash option that the Red Sox gave you and never played you.
Yeah. So people that might not know who Jack is, we'll get into Jack's story here, but 614 Major League Baseball games between 5 teams and a little time in Korea. Got traded for the Red Sox for cash. That's what Nate Dogg was joking about. We'll get into that too. But we'll start at the beginning. So Jack, St. Paul, go to Cretin. You guys, from what I hear from your buddies and guys that I know from Cretin, that team was unbelievable.
That team was unbelievable. 97, 98, we didn't lose a game. Jimmy O'Neill, Snap Leitner, outstanding coaches. We were in the St. Paul City Conference at the time, but that doesn't matter because we beat everybody that ever showed up, and we had a bunch of studs. I graduated and not even thinking I was the best player on my team. Like Luke Vogel still holds the home run record in Minnesota high school. Brian Gornick went on to Air Force, played hockey, was a stud baseball player. Well, our team was so good, Joe Mauer didn't make the team his freshman year, which at that time there's no freshman that has ever made it.
Yep.
And we had Nick Burke, brother of Matt Burke.
Yep.
Who was a catcher, and he was good. And but that was kind of a rule then. It's changed now. It's kind of revolved now. But we were stacked. We had a bunch of studs.
Did you guys win the state tournament?
2 years in a row.
Never lost a game. 2 years?
Didn't lose a game, Danny. Did not lose a game. Yeah, we won the state tourney both years.
What position were you?
Third base.
Third base.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're just throwing heaters from third to first, and all of a sudden, how many you hit a lot of home runs?
Not many.
Okay.
In high school?
Yeah.
No, not many.
So
I don't know.
So you go from Cretin, never losing a game, and you get an offer from the University of Minnesota, or did you get offers from other colleges, or how'd that work?
University of Minnesota. Rob Fornacier showed up in the house, early signing period. I knew I wanted to go to the University of Minnesota out of the gates because Dennis Denny baseball camps when I was young, go over to Cretin. They had 3 pitching machines going, balls flying everywhere. And all of a sudden these like Gopher baseball players would show up and like be sometimes coaches
getting paid $20 and they don't want to be there. But yeah.
Well, Wes Denny, a son of Dennis, now is a big time stud cop in St. Paul, but they'd show up and they're full of unis, and I just like looked at these guys. I was like, oh my God, that's who I want to be. And they're talking about baseball, and they're like, hey, whose mom is over there in the stands? I'm like, what? It's not my mom. Yeah. But as soon as I looked at these guys, full uni, golfers representing your state that you grew up in, I'm like, that's where I want to go. Early signing period, Rob Fornacier showed up at my house, boom, signed. I was going to the University of Minnesota.
So before Nate Dogg jumps in here, did you have offers anywhere else?
No.
Did you go on college visit?
No, I didn't have to. I went. My dad and I went to. They wanted me to walk on and play football at the U. So we went over. They invited us to a practice, and my dad and I walked in, and we were in Bierman, the old Bierman building.
Yep,
It's just, It was like the walls were falling.
It was a dump.
It was bad.
Dump.
Like super bad.
It was for people listening. It was a study hall for the athletes, and it was a dump.
So the football players are running off, and my dad and I are sitting there, and I'm just going, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And I just turned to my dad. I'm like, "These guys are huge. I don't want to play football." He goes, "Good choice, Jack. Let's go to the baseball office." I said, "Okay."
So really quick, I have on here that. So you mentioned you're looking at football, but you were also an all conference in basketball at Cretin.
Yeah, I wasn't a very good basketball player.
How are you
to
all
be honest
conference?
with you. Well, because I played defense. I played a lot of good. I played really hard defense. I think I led the St. Paul City Conference in technical fouls. Nate Dogg, you'd probably be proud of me about that.
Well, I'm just saying, in my head, I'm thinking, all right, baseball, the conference is probably pretty weak for baseball. But to get all conference in the inner city league in basketball, it's got to be pretty impressive, don't you think?
I would think you're pretty.
You ever played Highland Park? they can play.
Yeah.
They're good. They are good. But hoops, I was never very good.
Okay.
I played some D, ran the point, dished it off, but
Yeah.
basketball is basketball. But you know what basketball did is made me a better baseball player.
That's a good point because a lot of kids now play one sport.
You know what football did is made me a better baseball player. Football made me tough mentally, physically, and basketball made me like quick on my feet, agility wise, conditioning wise.
Yeah, so you're on the board of play multiple sports as a kid versus these crazy hockey parents that play hockey year round.
Play every sport you can.
Yep. So going back to the U of M. Now, before I went to college, I had no idea what this is. And when you go to college, you realize how hard it is to obtain. Jack was an All-American. So in hockey terms, there's 5 All-Americans in the West, 5 on the East. Baseball, I'm assuming it's 9 on the West, 9 on the East. That's a pretty big accomplishment. Did you get that your freshman year, All-American?
I have no idea. No, junior year.
Junior year, All-American.
Junior year, yeah. Freshman, sophomore, I was academic All-American.
Was that the years when the Gopher basketball team had the tutors doing their homework and they slipped on over to the baseball team?
For some reason, she never came over and did our papers, but she was good at doing the basketball papers.
Okay, so we got college. I mean, I'm assuming you spent some time at the library. I mean, I know I did when I played
Which
there.
library?
The one where the drinks were
#hashtag
free?
Yeah, yes. The library was great. The basement was a little, I don't know, a little rough down there. But upstairs, it was a great library. When my parents called me and said, "Hey, Dad, Mom, I was in the library all night, grinding it out."
I remember it took my dad, Donnie Baseball, a couple times to be like, "You're spending what at the library?" Because you don't have any money as a kid. So my dad let me have an ATM card, and I think he caught on pretty darn quick that it wasn't books I was buying.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been in the library a few times, and being at Minnesota State Mankato, I remember we used to get free kegs on Saturday night for the hockey team, and I brought my grandpa Buzz, who was about 75 at the time, and they weren't making drinks stiff enough for him, so they kept sucking him back, and he said he hadn't puked in 40 years, and he puked the whole way home. My mom and grandma had to drive him in the back. He was laying in the caravan at the back. So, I think everybody has that, that one spot where you went to after games, and most athletes were there.
Yeah, 100%. So Jack, so we go from college to pro. So you played for Oakland, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Seattle, Detroit. I don't think I'm missing anybody there, but did you get drafted or did you leave?
Drafted.
Did you leave early or did you stay all 4 years?
No, I got drafted. I got drafted in 01.
Like the 700th round. Doesn't baseball have a ton of rounds?
Yeah. At that time, I think they had 52 rounds. 52, I don't know.
Who drafted you?
Detroit Tigers in 01. In the third round.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
No big deal.
And got a nice little signing bonus.
Yeah.
Bought a little Ford Expedition. Sick, billet grill. It's all, And there I went. I went off to Lakeland, Florida, and I was in the Detroit minor leagues. Literally lived in a concrete. It was like this room with just walls, 2 beds, no internet, no TV, no nothing. And you played baseball. That's all you did.
So was that single A, double A, triple A?
That was 01. He brought you in. It was that was just first spring training.
Okay.
So then I made the rookie ball is all the like the Dominicans, the young Dominicans, 16-year-olds all the way up is the rookie ball. Short season A is all the college kids that got drafted. Oneonta, New York. They didn't sell beer in the stadium, and there'd be like 3 people in the stadium.
Mom, dad, and uncle.
Surprise, you know. And I just remember hearing the lights, just you know, and you're playing baseball, and I played good there. 2 weeks, I spent 2 weeks there. Then I got bumped up to Grand Rapids, Michigan, which was a blast.
Have you been to the Bob there?
Oh, I've never heard of the
Grand
Bob.
Rapids, the Bob. It's
No,
got
never
the
heard of
4
that.
bars, the 4 levels.
No,
Yeah, you've never heard of the Bob.
I wasn't old enough.
Are you bullshitting me?
No, I didn't have an ID or anything. I mean, I wasn't 21. I was at the Bob.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. We used to go there when we'd play the Griffins. We'd stop at the Bob and just say hi. So you're in Grand Rapids. So how long were you in the minors till you made your major league debut?
Maybe 5-6 years.
It's that long, huh?
Oh yeah, it was a grind. I got to Double A in Erie, Pennsylvania. Awesome place to play. 3 colleges within like 5 miles of each other. It's like Mercyhurst, Gannon, and one more. But awesome place to play. People loved it. They showed up. Double A is the first time I saw a fastball like over 95, and they just gas, and I couldn't hit it, especially inside. I was like, oh. So I do another year there. Barely can hit it, do a little better, and then I got bumped up to the next year. Went up to
AAA?
Toledo Mud Hens in AAA, and same type of deal.
So five years in the minors.
Mhm.
I spent 4. Is there ever a point where you're like, this isn't going to happen?
Yeah, well, many of those, especially a couple of those times I got hurt, came home, and I've had good buddies, like best buddies saying, so like, what do you want to do? What are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going back and I'm playing fucking baseball. What are you talking about? I mean, like, I'm committed to this sport, and fucking, you can rip the jersey off me if you want, but I'm going to give it everything I got, and we'll see where it takes me.
Yep. No, that's awesome. So I got on here your major league debut. What do you remember about that? Who was it for?
Not much.
You don't remember?
Well, yeah, major league. Yeah, I mean, I was in Detroit. Jim Leland, one of my favorite managers of all time. Jim Leland is an absolute stud. Junkyard dog. The guy is, I don't know, 5'6", 7", I don't know. He was just banged heaters all the time. And he'd just rip down a heater, and then I'm like watching him on the bench. And no smoke. He wouldn't exhale the smoke. I'm like, where's it going? And he just cup it and he sit on the bench. He would wear metal cleats, nut cup every game. He was an absolute stud. I showed up early one day. I brought my buddies in when I got called up to Detroit in 06. That year they went to the World Series. I only was there for maybe 2 weeks, not even. But of course, all my boys show up. I'm like, hey, let's go. Bring you in the clubhouse. Let's go. Yep. Well, I'm not thinking anybody's going to be there but the clubby. Jim Leland, skipper, is in there, his shirt off, baseball pants, metal cleats, and he's just pumping iron. I'm like, oh, shit. And he pops up and he walks over. I'm like, hey, Skip, these are my buddies.
They're all .2.
No. And he just hand out, hey, nice to meet you. Hey, come on, I'll show you around this place.
Oh, that's awesome.
To Detroit. Yeah, he was an absolute stud. And I've never played for a manager that umpires absolutely feared this man.
Did they?
Oh, my God. Leland would jump out of the dugout, and they're just like, oh, sorry. Did I mess it up? Okay, yeah, screwed it up.
So speaking of Jim Leland, I've known Jack for a couple of years in Nate Dog. I don't know if you heard this story, but Jack's got to tell the story about when he came out and tore you guys apart and talk about who was on the team. And this was the year you guys almost won it, right?
That was the year that they went to the World Series. We played Kansas City, and they stunk. They were so bad. They were so bad. And we had a lefty going. I got sent down right after this. I was the last guy to, on the team. So as soon as a starter gets shelled, the last position player's gone to get another pitcher up there. Yeah. So I'm just watching him. I'm going, God, just throw a strike, or just try to get a guy out. And it's just pow, pow, pow. So after the game, Jim Leland walks in, and
you guys got spanked, right?
We got our asses kicked. Yeah, we were leading our American League, and we had a bunch of our team was like just an all-star team. Like Pudge was the catcher, Dimitri Young, Basilio Polanco was the second baseman, Edgar Renteritas.
You guys were loaded.
Loaded.
Yeah.
What's his name in left field?
Played for the Braves, didn't he?
Why am I blanking on his name?
Oh, Sheffield.
Gary Sheffield.
Sheffield.
Yeah,
Sheffield.
Yeah. And so it turned out we had 21 fly ball outs. Like guys were just trying to go deep, And Leland walks in, full uni, and he just starts screaming at everybody. And in Detroit, it was like a long clubhouse. So like it was like a little wider than a bowling alley, but it's long. So he'd pop out of his office, he'd open the door, and just smoke would come out. And here he comes. And he start just walking down, and he just, you guys, are you shitting me? 21 fly ball outs. Why don't you call your agents and tell you how good you are? You guys stink. You can't hit. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I'm looking around like, who's in this locker room? I'm like, there's a bunch of studs in here, like all-stars. And this guy's burying him. I'm like, this is awesome. So I'm just sitting there, haven't taken anything off. And I'm just like watching. Oh. All of a sudden, so he buries us, he goes back to his office, door closes. So everybody starts kind of changing. They're kind of like, oh, whatever, changing, taking their stuff off. All of a sudden, we hear a door just boom, pop open again. I barely even have my jersey off, and I look up. Here he comes. Cleats, baseball pants, and no shirt on. Hey, I'm not done with you guys. If you think this is going to win, you think we're going to go to the World Series, you think we're going to win with everybody trying to hit home runs for you and your agents? I got news for you. We're not. And he just starts screaming, yelling at everybody. Everybody's, okay.
Didn't have a cigarette in his mouth, too?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Sorry, keep going.
No. All of a sudden he disappears. Okay. So now everybody's getting dressed, and, people are about to go to the shower, and I'm in my undies, and all of a sudden, boom, the door opens again. And I look up, and here he comes. Here he comes. He still has his metal cleats on, and now he's in his undies, and the ruts, like the slider shorts, with his nut cup on, no shirt on. And he's just, I'm not done with you guys. You want to be good? Then you got to play like, and it was, I'll never forget it. And I just remember just like looking at this guy. I was like, this guy is an absolute stud. Mm-hmm. And it was, yeah.
Well, that nowadays is normal 21 flyouts because everybody's going for the entertainment, right?
Yeah.
Hit the long ball.
Yeah.
That's what pays. I mean, teams win by 4 or 5 home runs in a game.
Yeah.
Sometimes lose.
Right.
4 or 5 home runs in a game.
Yeah. Hopefully that's going to change with this shift bullshit that's going on. Like they're going to, can't be on the second base, can't be in the outfield.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of good hitters start hitting again from that. I mean, it was like
the shift was out of control.
The shift I felt the shift ruined baseball. Maybe because I was a player, and I'd be up, and all of a sudden they'd be playing somewhere, and all of a sudden I got 2 strikes on me, and all of a sudden everybody moves. And I'm going, what's going on?
Yeah.
Really? Do I really hit the ball there? And all of a sudden, boom! I'll hit a bullet up the middle, give the pitcher a haircut, and the shortstop or second baseman it's right behind second base. So it's not even fair.
I have a question about that. When someone does a shift on somebody, why don't you just bunt it down third base?
It's not that easy. I mean, have you ever tried to bunt a 100-mile-an-hour baseball that's cutting and sinking?
Do you know who?
I'll be honest. I don't think it's that difficult.
Do you know?
You stick your bat out there. I mean, it could be that. I mean, I've watched. You can watch guys all the time. I mean,
I was gonna say
it doesn't look like it's that difficult.
Do you know who beat me out barely for the Nebraska Lincoln Southeast shortstop?
Yeah.
Alex Gordon.
Yeah.
I could bunt one down third.
He's a left fielder.
Here's the thing. You not only that,
Now he is.
not only that, Danny, you get 3 times to try and bunt it. It's not like you fail the first time, you're just out, right? In hockey, you don't get to go, oh shit, I wanted to go upper corner and it came off my stick wrong. These guys are like, no, go out there and stand, and they got to throw it. They got to throw the ball within 18 inches for a strike. You can always pull your back.
Those umpires are horrible. I mean, those umpires. There's a few good umpires in Major League Baseball, but there's a lot of shitty ones.
But be honest, who the hell wants to bunt? Nobody.
You're not getting paid to bunt.
Exactly.
You're not getting paid to bunt.
Nate, you're playing a sport where you're 30% good at it. You go 3 for 10, you're making millions. Batting 300, I'd be butting down that line all day long, beating it out.
Well, bullshit.
Charlie.
If there's tail in the stands, right? They want to see the long ball. They're not gonna be like, dude, do you want 2 for 3 and we want to hook up? I could go 1 for 5 with a bomb. Then I'm freaking hooking up with the blondie in the second row. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit about bunting. The team might want to bunt, but I'm like, shit, there's more than that. There's life after the sport, right?
Yeah.
I always, my funny thing is like when I talk to professional athletes, like you're our entertainer for those 3 hours, 4 hours. Like they get pissed, but you're supposed to entertain the fans.
Yep.
I want to see a home run. I don't want to see a guy bunting down third base because he put a shift, but I also don't want to see the shift either.
Yeah,
right. I want to see guys, but I want to see guys if they can smoke a ball back up that's going 90, like you're saying 98, and it's cutting, right? And can hit it up and you hit it a great. You line it up and you hit it. You should get awarded with the hit. You shouldn't be guys can play it. It's already hard enough to hit that ball. You know, you can all go back to golf too. Like it's stationary and it's still hard to hit it. Now you got a crowd going nuts, right? Don't know what's coming, right? I mean, and I always say like. In baseball, I always look at like if there's a walk, it opens up the field for the hitter, right? Because now the guy's got to cover first. Yeah, but I think there's nothing worse than the setting it up and having 8 guys on the field and watching a guy rip one, and it's just an easy ground ball out.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see next year how it changes. I think. So Jack, you got was about I think 8 years Major League Baseball. Yeah, 600 some games.
I played in 600 something. I watched a lot more than that on the bench, especially in the American League.
So speaking of that, so you played for Oakland, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Seattle, Detroit. And you've told me a funny story before we get to your 99%er story, because right now listeners are like, dude, Jack's a 1%er. Mm-hmm. So Jack's told me a story. I think it was Seattle with the you weren't playing much and the one guy in front of you who batted in front of you kept getting beaned. And you had to do something about it. We might be able to throw this on our YouTube channel if it's still out there.
No, you're talking about Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah.
Okay. Sin-Soo Choo, my boy.
Tell Nate Dogg the story.
So I'm in Cleveland, and I loved Cleveland's organization. The Indians, now the Guardians. Chris Antonetti, president of baseball, absolute stud. He was the GM when I was there. Mark Shapiro was the president. He's now in Toronto. But awesome team, awesome teammates. It was, we were good. We were good, and we wanted to win, like, as a team. When in the minor leagues, I felt that a lot, but in the big leagues, it was just like, if I got, this guy just wants his 4 hits, and if they win, it lose. Yeah, I mean, but this was a team that, hey, we wanted to win no matter what. If you were 0 for 5, who gives a shit if you win, Mm-hmm. You're excited, pumped up, having fun, hugging people in the locker room. So this game, Sin-Soo Choo, Korean stud, one of the top 5 hitters I've ever played with, and he ends up getting beaned. We're playing San Francisco there, and this guy who was pitching, he's horrible. Oh, he's good, but if there's a base open, he'll hit you in a heartbeat just to get rid of you, and then to face somebody else, And so he ends up drilling Chewy in the hand, breaks his thumb. We missed Chew for 8 weeks. It should have been 12, but it's 8. That's a different story. He had a doctor coming from Korea doing the snake juice. That's a different story. And I think it works. I don't know. But Chew comes back, and, this guy then now gets traded to Kansas City. So we're playing Kansas City, and we're right in the hunt. And, there's some bad blood, obviously, with this guy and how he hit you. There's a guy on second base, 2 outs, and he just drilled Chew, and that's when he broke his thumb. So now we're in KC, and this guy, and so I see this guy pitching. And so I grabbed Chew in the locker room. I said, listen to me. If this guy hits you, I said, take off and charge him. I said, Chew was leading the league in being hit by pitches at this time. Like they would hit him. He was such a good hitter. If he got it, if they left something out over the plate, his hands were extended and it was damage. I said, listen, if this guy hits you, charge him out. Go get him. And I promise you, I will be there with one, just tackle him, hit him, do whatever you want to do. I'll be there 1 second later and I'll take care of everything. I'll take care of it. And, okay, Hanna, okay. And sure as shit, first at bat, he gets in a 3-1 count and this guy just puts one right in his ribs. And Chewy slams the bat and he looks at him and he starts pointing at him. And I'm in the dugout going, go get him, go get him, you know? and he just kind of says, and then the catcher just flies around and just kind of grabs Chewy. And I'm like, I'm going.
From the dugout.
Yeah, so I took off in the dugout. I took off and he wasn't ready for me. So I didn't blast him. So I just kind of had a really good adult conversation with him about
You didn't get Robbie.
Not hitting.
You didn't get Robbie Ventura, did you?
No. But I could have easily. He was a lefty.
Yeah.
Those lefties, I don't like fighting those lefties. They beat the shit out of me.
So you charged the mound from the dugout.
Yeah, so I just went over there and charged them out.
Did all the benches clear, all that crap? You guys play tummy sticks?
Yeah. No punches thrown, just a lot of talking, a lot of hugging, you know.
So pretty much a typical baseball fight. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a dime a dozen, right?
Jack goes back, feels a little bit bigger, a little bit taller.
Yeah. He was probably out for 2 weeks. Arm strain, lower leg weakness or whatever, stuff like that,
All right, so we got all our listeners. How is Jack a 99%er? So Jack's got a story he's going to tell here. Obviously, very successful Major League Baseball career, college career, a lot of accolades, everything. He's going to get into a golf story here that you guys are not going to believe. We don't got to say who it was, where it was at.
I'd like to.
It's up to you.
This is a joke. What happened here? But
so I'll start it off. So Jackson, a member guest at a golf course here, maybe it might have been last summer, and there was some member guests. I don't know if people know about them, but there's money on the line. You can win some money.
$88K.
Yeah,
$88,000.
I think there's a restaurant called Danny's there or something.
No, not that one. First of all, the sport of golf is so frustrating to me. Like, the ball's not moving. It's just sitting there. You have this high-powered club or whatever. You just got to touch this thing, and it should go where you want it to go. Well, it doesn't. Yep. And the more you play something, I've always been a believer, the more you play something, you should be better. You should get better at it, right? You should get good at it. I don't get good at golf for some reason. Anyway, so my first member guest, I'm super excited to call my boy. Hey, can you, it's a Thursday, a Friday. I'm like, why would you do a member Thursday, Friday? It's like, people work, like people have jobs. Like Thursday, Friday,
Not when you're a golf member.
The country club guys don't work with anything.
There's a little different work schedule there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so me and my boy show up, and we're paired with another 2 guys from Cretin, one of which is a brother, Bill's brother. And it is literally, if you've never played golf out there, it's always windy, and it was like super windy. And we start playing, and all of a sudden, the Mauer boys just get hot, like golfing. And me and the other guy, I'm spraying shit everywhere. I'm a 9 handicap, and I've had good rounds, I've had bad rounds, but I'm just, and it was not my day. And who I do blame is the stretch lab. I got stretched out the first time, and
no free ads.
Yeah, well, they blew my round.
Well, don't you feel at the beginning of the year you're hitting the ball well, and then the more you play, it's like as you get stretched out and get increased, your game goes to shit. You're like, you know, first 9 holes, you're like, playing pretty well. Then all of a sudden your body gets warmed up, about 9 cocktails deep, and your game goes to shit.
So I've never been stretched out before. And this lady's just fucking wrenching on me. Things are cracking them all. I get on the first tee. It's poof, poof, poof. I'm like, oh, fuck. It's going to be a tough round, Bill. I don't know. Hey, you got to pick me up. He's like, hey, don't worry. 40-mile-an-hour winds. We go out, and it was like brother, like, hey, I'm going to beat you. No, I'm going to beat you. You know, big brother, little brother stuff. And long story short, my partner goes out and plays the absolute best round of his life. Absolute best. I shot a 96 that round. And partner shot a 74. And it was
and Billy's handicap was what, a 7 at the time?
9.
Billy was a 9 and he shot a 74. Okay. So he had a round of his life.
He chipped in twice, and he had 2 like 30-footers that dropped.
Okay.
And it was the best round I've ever seen Bill play in my entire life. And it was just because he wanted to beat his brother, you know? And so I tied Bill 4 holes. I never beat him on any hole, but I tied him on 4. So in that thing, we could have just, what people do, you just cross out the, you know, your partner's score, and they could have wrote mine in, which is totally normal, I guess. I had no clue, whatever. So long story short, hey, Billy and I are first round. We're in the first place after day 1. And I'm like, yeah, Billy, that a baby. Way to go, man. You know, I shit the bed. I had a shot at 96. It was horrible. And
this isn't just for pennies. Like, you're not winning $100 or a gift card.
No, he said 88,000.
88,000. Yeah, it's not just a gift card or something at the shop.
No, it's like $900 to get in, and then people are betting on every team, you know, beforehand. And then so the guy says there's $88,000 in the pot, and I'm like, holy shit! Oh my god! So I'm like, and we're in first place. This is unbelievable. You know, after the worst round I've ever played. So they're roasting this pig. It was great. I'm sitting, and they had a big table, so there's like 15 of us sitting down. And I just get the old principal tap on the shoulder, and I'm like, what the fuck? And it's the pro, and I like the pro. I really do. I respect him. He's a great dude. He's like, Jack, can I talk to you? I was like, yeah. Had this, you know, it was like I was back at Cretan-Derham Hall getting, he's like, oh shit.
Wearing white socks with your black shoes.
My hair was a little long in the neck in the JROTC. Anyway, so he pulls me aside in the place and says, so Jack, listen, we need to talk. I'm like, okay, let's talk. And he goes, we're going to take 2 strokes off your guest. And I said, no, you're not. No, you're not. He goes, yes, Jack. I go, pro, like his name. I said, how many years have you been here? And he told me 10. I said, how many golfers and guests have you ever taken strokes away from in a tournament? And he goes, none. I go, you've never done that ever? He goes, no. I go, well, you're not going to do it now. And he goes, the committee has ruled, and we're taking 2 strokes. And then I turned to him, I said, I want to talk to that committee right fucking now.
And you're a couple beers in. You're golfing all day.
Just a couple, you know. And he said, okay. So he takes me right through the kitchen. We go into the office, and it's 2 guys. The GM, who was just hired, who played in this tournament last year. His partner is playing in it. So the committee's 2 guys. 3 guys. 3 guys.
It's a big committee.
Huge committee. Yeah. And I just sat down with him. I said, listen, there's no chance that you're taking any strokes away from my guest. He has a legitimate GIN number, record, everything. I said, I'll grab 20 guys out here and bring him in and tell you that they played with him, and he shot you shoot anywhere from whatever. And, you know.
Well, they're basically calling you and Billy a liar.
So that's what, you know. There were some words exchanged. There was, so I ended up saying, yep, I 2-handed the door shut when I walked in, which probably I would have done a little differently looking back on it. But I mean,
you want.
Probably not. But what you're doing is you're calling. So I said, are you calling me a cheater? No. Oh, you're calling my guest a cheater. No, Jack, no. I'm like, well, then listen, this is bullshit. There's no chance you're taking 2 strokes for my guy. I said, just wait it out. You know, if you tell us not to come back, if my guy shoots another 74 as a 9, listen, you just say, hey, you guys are never coming back here. Real simple. Well, long story short, after a very heated conversation, I ended up leaving and came back that morning for the next one. And so there's a shootout. The top 6 guys go in a shootout, and they go around, and
those are the 6 that get paid from the pot. So
correct.
Yep.
So then I think the 6th guy would probably got $15,000 for coming in 6th place.
But you guys, what do you shoot the next day?
We bounce back. I shoot an 85, and Bill shoots an 86.
Yeah.
No wind, no nothing. And
so if you really combine his scores, he's back to a 9 handicap.
Exactly. That's why I said just wait.
And I feel like if you're a 1 handicap, it's hard to have a really good day. But if you're a 9 to 10, 12 handicap, you're allowed to have one good day once in a while.
The guy played the best round of his life, and this dipshit says, "Oh, we're taking 2 strokes away."
No,
we got totally screwed. It was all this guy's buddies were in the tournament.
I played probably 100 rounds with Billy. Maybe seen him shoot in the 70s twice. So that's the story. Yeah. So
as the story ends, it gets even better. So you guys tied to get in the shootout, don't you?
Yes. So there's the 6 are in, and there's a group that are tied to do this chipping, whatever.
So if they didn't take your strokes, you guys would have won the tournament outright the day before.
Well, they would have been in.
Correct.
You guys would have won the tournament. They didn't take the strokes.
We missed the tourney by 1 stroke. They took 2 away. I immediately wanted to strangle somebody.
So the scenario that you were scared of the next day happened, right? Because now those 2 strokes fucked you, right?
Yeah.
And you're
it was
like
a joke.
Yeah. And then if you're not heated, then you're going to be, I'll let you explain it. But now you're going, this was our tournament. Like Bill played out of his mind. This is how you win a tournament.
It's called golf.
Yeah.
And you're a general manager, and you make decisions that are just total bullshit. I just said, let it play out, And sure enough, we bounce back, and takes 2 strokes away. We missed the shootout by 1 stroke, and I wasn't happy about it.
So this is Friday. This is the second day.
Yeah. So I went back in there.
Did you storm the castle?
Yeah, I went. Yeah, of course I did. Why? Wouldn't you?
Yes.
Nate, you probably would have killed somebody.
It's a lot of money.
Well, yeah, not even that, but
calling me a cheater.
That's the thing. Is listen, my partner owns 3 car dealerships. You think he gives a shit about the pot? No, he doesn't.
Right.
And you took 2 strokes off him. And then they sold our team for like $3,500 at the Calcutta.
Didn't Thal have?
They didn't even tell anybody that they're just rip 2 strokes from. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
So bullshit.
Yeah.
No, I think that's. That's why you take a 9 handicap into that tournament in case he does play a good round. You have a great opportunity to win the tournament.
Right.
And then they want to come back and say, "Oh, you can't play that good. You can't play that good of a round here. So we're gonna add 2 strokes." Well, I could have put it on as a fucking 11 if I wanted to. What the hell is going on here?
Yeah. It was we got good old boys. It was all the good old boys that had been there for a long time, and I was a 2nd-year guy there, and brought my boy, my guest, and they buried us.
Well, I think I look at the situation too. You're with Billy, right? One of the nicest guy, honest guy. He would probably donate all the money and not even care. He just wants to say he won it.
Right.
He just likes to say, I won another tournament.
Yeah.
But if you had someone else like yourself, you guys probably wouldn't have showed up Friday because you probably been kicked off the grounds. If you didn't have Billy saying, it's not that big of a deal. But if you had someone like Nate Dogg or someone else, we wouldn't have been coming back Friday because we wouldn't have been allowed to. You know what I mean? Because it is bullshit.
It's total bullshit.
Danny, what do you think? You think it's a 1%er for that story?
You played in that tournament, Danny?
I played in the one that's the one day, and I won it. And I'm a 13 handicap.
Cheater.
Yeah.
What?
I'm a 13 handicap.
They take any strokes away from you?
What'd you shoot?
Well, Vanek's like a 6.
Hey, Vanek won it.
So Vanek's
2nd year in a row.
He's smart about it because when I played in the 1-day tournament with them, they have a 1-day and a 2-day. The 1 day, he knows I'm a 13-14. And he goes, Danny, I need 2 birdies. That's it. I don't care what else you do. I got my 2 birdies. We won the tournament. Right? Because he knows to get a high handicap that can shoot well, give me a couple holes. But
well, you have. That's what I mean. Billy can score. He can shoot a couple birdies in a round. That's why he's a good player. But he can also shoot a 9.
Yeah,
because he can get around a green and he can chunk it 3-4 times.
That second round, he went like snowman. I'm like, Jesus, Bill, like, come on. He's like, I'm trying. I'm like, okay, fuck.
Where the fuck was your game from yesterday?
Yeah, I said, hey, well, maybe the wind should be blowing 40 knots.
40 miles an hour. Yeah. Was he playing with his brother on the second day?
No.
Yeah,
we got paired up with a couple of random guys.
Yeah, I think that compete factor, right?
Well, here's the beauty. Here's the beauty of it. His brother was having the round of his life, and he had a commitment that he had to go away, a meeting, something that he had to do. So he left at 16, and if he would have finished with pars and even a bogey, it would have been the round of his life too.
Yeah.
And you're gonna take 2 strokes away from that?
No.
I said, my partner comes from some good fucking genes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you mean? You tell me he can't just go shoot the best round of his life?
No, and if it would have been Joe, if it would have been Joe on that aspect, his brother, they would have never took 2 strokes away from him.
No chance.
Not a chance. And that's where I think you get into I think a lot of the times, maybe the Hannahan, the Mauer, Irmen, like gives you the benefit. But you were in a situation where they didn't give a shit because they had their good old boy group and they knew who they wanted to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's when that's when pride kicks in, right?
Yeah, it was a joke.
The money doesn't matter. The winning is what matters. The competitiveness, and that's.
Well, I would say you got screwed, Jack. That's you're a 99%er when it comes to getting. That's the stories we want to hear. Is how'd you get screwed? Because we've all been there.
Yeah. It might
have been to get to the big leagues. It might have been to make the high school varsity golf team. But you get screwed. We want to hear the stories.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that's the whole thing about it. It doesn't matter what it is, when it happened. Like, we want to hear what's going on. And these stories are great. Like, we can have the podcast that talks about everything that all the 1%ers do and all these great things and accolades they have. We want to hear how situations like Jack probably hasn't dealt with a situation like that where they're going to cut 2 strokes off the guy.
No chance.
The turn, like, who I am? I'm Jack Hannahan. I'm playing with Lamar. Like, this is bullshit. And when they held to it, you're like, I got fucked. And you start feeling like a common folk, right? You feel like a 99%er. You're like, I am a 99%er. Like, now I know what it feels like to get fucked. Like, that ain't right.
Oh, that was awesome, Jack. We could sit here and tell you got so many baseball stories. Rumor has it you might be a co-host with us here down the road.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate your time. Anything else you want to tell us quick about the big leagues? What do you guys do before games? Really quick before we get off here?
No, it just depends if you get a couple hits or not. It's always the same parking spot, same shower head. No, the big leagues was fun. The minor leagues was a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
And just the stories with the buddies. And, when you get done, everybody says, hey, what do you miss about it? And it's just I miss the competition, and I miss my boys that I'd go into competition with.
The locker room.
The locker room.
Yeah. I got a quick thing too before I told him I'd at least talk about him a little bit, but
who?
I want to talk about your homeboy, Rick Brusso.
He was a good baseball player.
He said you were out of town. You were out of town roommates.
What?
When the golfers went out of town, he said you're a roommate once in a while.
Roommates never should tell stories though. That's the code. That's the code.
No, I know. I'm just saying. What do you think of Ricky? I mean, if you had a choice.
I like Ricky.
Yeah.
Rickie's a stud.
Yeah. And what I like about
great
Ricky
shortstop. Great. Yeah.
And he just tells it how it is. And
was he a good hockey player?
Yeah, he was good. I mean, he was a smooth.
Well, everyone's a good hockey player. Maybe we should give him on the podcast. Why didn't he make it?
Hey, did he be a perfect guy?
Yeah.
Perfect guy. Did he make it?
No, he didn't make it.
No.
Perfect.
He's going to be on here.
I mean, do you think let's be honest, do you think he deserved to make it? I mean,
what, baseball or hockey?
Both.
I've never seen him play hockey.
What about baseball now?
No, I mean,
he wouldn't bunt down the line.
No, I mean,
he
was a good shortstop. But,
no, Rob Quinlan,
but he's a great guy. Quinny made it. Quinny played 8 years.
Oh yeah,
9 years. Maybe 10. I don't know.
Were they there at the same time? How about Joe Schmidt? Was he?
Schmidt? Yeah, dude. The old boys. Schmidt could hit. He didn't play much, but he could hit.
Our graduating year at Hill Murray '96, Joe Schmidt, Brusso. We had 14 guys on our hockey team either go Division I in baseball or hockey. Not that senior year, but maybe they were juniors or sophomores.
Did you guys win any championship?
No, we never went to the state tournament. I lost 2 games my junior, senior year. We didn't go to the state tournament. So you tell me a guy that got fucked.
Wow, that's awesome. We'll get those guys on. Jack, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me,
Awesome
boys.
stories. We can be heard on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and all their platforms where you get your podcasts. Please like and subscribe. And for all those listeners out there, keep telling those stories because we want to hear them, and maybe we'll tell them on this pod.
Let's go.
See you, boys.